Hi there, and welcome to the Celeb Tea. Who would have thought that some of the most glamorous women on television, dressed in designer labels, sipping champagne in marble kitchens, would end up facing some of the biggest financial explosions in reality TV history? These real housewives weren't just fighting over dinner tables, they were battling bankruptcy courts, fraud charges, lawsuits, and federal agents. But here's the twist. While most people would crumble under that kind of downfall, these women turned disaster into a brand. Let's start with the undisputed queen of financial chaos herself, Teresa Giudice. The woman who made TV history with a single table flip on The Real Housewives of New Jersey had no idea she was about to flip her entire life upside down. Back in 2009, Teresa and her husband, Joe, claimed they were drowning in debt, $11 million worth of it. Just to put that into perspective, that's the price of around 183 brand new Birkin bags. And knowing Teresa's love for luxury, that comparison feels painfully accurate. But it wasn't just the debt that shook viewers, it was the lies behind it. The couple wasn't simply broke. They were hiding money, faking bankruptcy forms, and signing fraudulent mortgages. They conveniently forgot to report income from Teresa's cookbooks, their rental properties, and even earnings from the show itself. Joe also forgot to file taxes for years, which is wild for someone appearing weekly on national television flaunting extravagant furniture and luxury vacations. By 2013, the government had seen enough. The couple was slapped with 39 counts of fraud, each one more serious than the last. Both pled guilty. Teresa was sentenced to 15 months in federal prison, while Joe got 41 months and an eventual deportation back to Italy. Imagine going from being invited to red carpets to being assigned a prison ID and scrubbing cafeteria tables for 12 cents an hour. The irony? The woman known for flipping tables ended up cleaning them in prison. Even Hollywood writers couldn't make that up. But Teresa isn't just dramatic, she's strategic. Instead of disappearing from the spotlight, she used her downfall like a launch pad. She filmed before going in, filmed right after coming out, and even did scenes while still under house arrest. Bravo never dropped her. In fact, they gave her more screen time, and viewers couldn't look away. She released a prison memoir filled with behind-bars tea, and it shot straight to the New York Times bestseller list. Fast forward to today, and she's on top again, earning a jaw-dropping $1.1 million per season, making her one of the highest-paid housewives ever. She joined Dancing with the Stars, launched a podcast, kept publishing cookbooks, and rebuilt her public image like a pro. She even remarried, this time to someone not facing deportation, which is definitely an upgrade. Her current net worth sits around $500,000. It's not where she once was, but considering she paid back $414,000 in restitution and spent time behind bars, it's a serious comeback story. If reality TV has proven anything, it's that a little scandal plus a lot of PR equals a career revival. Now, let's talk about the elegant chaos that is Sonja Morgan. When she married into the legendary Morgan banking family, she stepped into old money royalty. Imagine marble staircases, staff at your service, and sipping tea in a townhouse worth millions in Manhattan. Even after the divorce, she kept the mansion, the lifestyle, and the name. Everything seemed stable until she made one terrible business decision. In an attempt to step into Hollywood, Sonja signed a deal to co-produce a film starring John Travolta titled Fast Flash to Bang Time. Yes, that was the actual title. The movie never even made it to production, but the legal fallout was very real. Her partner company sued her and won $7 million. That judgment grew to $9 million with legal fees, and soon Sonja was $20 million in debt with only $13.5 million in assets. That Manhattan townhouse viewers saw on TV, behind the cameras, it was literally falling apart, leaking ceilings, broken walls, and no budget to fix anything. She couldn't afford to renovate it, yet couldn't bring herself to sell it. Bankruptcy swallowed her life for 5 long years. She had to sell her properties in France and Colorado, all while battling attorneys and scrambling to secure income through any means possible. But Sonja, like a true entertainer, turned survival into performance. She leaned into her Bravo role harder than ever, took comedy gigs, even performed on Broadway, and became one of the top earners on Cameo, sending personalized videos to fans just to keep money flowing. By 2015, she finally got out of Chapter 11 after paying nearly $9 million to clear it all. She eventually sold the iconic townhouse at auction for $4 million, but she had already emotionally and financially moved on. And today, she's thriving again, with a loyal fan base, influencer deals, and more relevance than ever. Her story proves one thing: you can lose millions, but if you stay entertaining, Bravo will keep cutting the check. If Teresa and Sonja's stories were tales of chaos and glittering disaster, then Robin Dixon's journey is a slower burn, less explosive, but deeply personal. Her life looked like a picture-perfect love story. She and Juan Dixon were teenage lovers, made for each other. Juan rose to fame in the NBA, and with that came money, fame, and comfort. They had the house, the lifestyle, and what looked like a stable future. But sometimes the most dangerous financial mistakes happen quietly, behind smiles and trust. Unlike others who overspent on luxury, Robin wasn't blowing money on yachts or European shopping trips. Her downfall came from something far more painful: betrayal from someone she trusted completely. The couple allowed a close friend, someone they believed was loyal, to handle their finances. Instead of protecting their future, he slowly drained their accounts. By the time the truth came out, nearly $60,000 had vanished, and their finances were in shambles. When the dust settled, Robin found herself in a situation that didn't even feel real. Bills weren't being paid, debts piled up, and the glamorous life viewers saw was no longer their reality. Things got so bleak that she and Juan, despite being divorced, continued living together just to survive financially. Not because of love, but because breaking apart would be even more expensive than staying under the same roof. Most people would have hidden this kind of embarrassment, but Robin spoke about it publicly on the show. That honesty shocked fans. She didn't pretend. She didn't fake a lifestyle. Instead, she openly said, "We lost everything." And in a franchise where flaunting wealth is practically a requirement, that level of vulnerability was rare. But Robin didn't stay in that dark chapter. Slowly, she started to rebuild from scratch, one practical decision at a time. She launched a podcast, Reasonably Shady, which unexpectedly blew up and began pulling in impressive revenue. Instead of chasing flashy ventures, she created something relatable, a startup accessories brand called Embellished, focused on fashion headwear that blended style and everyday comfort. It wasn't loud, it wasn't flashy, but it was smart business. It made money. The most incredible part? Viewers who once judged her for losing everything now rooted for her comeback. They saw a woman who made no excuses, took accountability, and climbed her way back with strategy instead of chaos. Robin didn't just recover financially, she recovered her dignity and control. Final reflection: what these comebacks really teach us. Looking at these three women side by side, a clear pattern emerges. They didn't avoid disaster, they monetized it. When their lives spiraled, they didn't disappear quietly like most people would. They stayed on camera. They let the world watch. Every lawsuit, every breakdown, every mistake, it was all turned into content, and content became money. Teresa went to prison and came out a bigger star than she was before. Sonja lost millions in a film scam that never even produced a movie, yet she used her humor and presence to turn bankruptcy into brand expansion. Robin lost her wealth not from overspending, but from betrayal, and still managed to reinvent herself with steady, calculated business moves. What separates them from countless others who've gone broke is not luck, it's visibility. They weren't afraid to turn their lowest moments into chapters of a public story. They didn't run from the camera, they let it roll.